What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the cocktail section of my channel. Today's video is going to be reviewing Stronger With You Freeze. But first, like I said, this is the cocktail section of the video. So thinking about reviewing the fragrance Stronger With You Freeze, I thought maybe it'd be nice to go ahead and make a Kentucky Mule. If you're not familiar with Kentucky Mules, they're basically the same as a Moscow Mule, but you're making a Kentucky Mule with Kentucky bourbon. And my bourbon of choice for today is Jim Beam's Vanilla Bourbon. I really like this. This is a great sipping bourbon if you want it to be. It doesn't really have much of the bite if you're used to bourbon, that is. It's nice and sweet, but it's not overly sweet. And I think it's very smooth. Like I said, if you wanted to enjoy it over ice. And it's amazing if you wanted to have it in an old fashioned, maybe with some cherry bitters. I've been upping my bitters game here lately. I have orange, I have chocolate bitter, I have walnut, I have cherry, and I have cranberry. The reason why I'm going to make a Kentucky Mule with the Jim Beam Vanilla is because one of the notes in here is bourbon vanilla. Also, up top you have ginger, also like the ginger beer that you will put into the Kentucky Mule. And you also have lime up top with the ginger that will go into the Kentucky Mule as well. So all those ingredients are all those notes in this fragrance basically together just really scream Kentucky Mule to me. So without further ado, I like to go ahead and get started into making this drink. Also, I have my ice packed in this nice bullet bourbon carrying pouch, basically just to kind of protect your bottle, but I use it with the muddler to crush my ice if I need to. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna crush my ice with the muddler, like I said. All right, and there you have it. With the magic of editing, we have crushed ice, because that was extremely loud. My daughter and my wife is asleep, and they probably aren't anymore. But it is what it is. So, and it's cool because this bag has like a nice little magnetic clasp to it, I guess. So yeah. Also it has this little name tag. All right, no, it doesn't have it. Yeah, it has this little to and from tag on it. So I mean, you can put your bullet bourbon bottle in here and you can give it to somebody, but I decided to use it to crush up my ice. So yeah, it has multiple functions. I'm gonna go ahead and pour in the ice into the glass. Right there. Like I said, we got some crushed ice. Beautiful. All right, so in case you all want to know the ingredients, you can pause this at any point in time. I have this card that has all the ingredients for a Moscow Mule, but like I said, you can just replace the vodka with bourbon. You can do it with rum. You can do it with whatever you want to be honest. That's the beauty of making cocktails. You can use different spirits with different actual cocktails, you know? So here we go. Usually you use 2 ounces of vodka, but our bourbon, but I think since the Jim Beam Vanilla is a little bit lower proof, I'm gonna go ahead and use 2.5 ounces of that. And you'll use a 1/2 ounce of lime juice and 6 ounces of ginger beer, and you get a mint sprig, and you kind of slap it against your hand to express the mint oils from the leaves. They kind of give it a nice aroma, and you kind of just park it into the ice to give it a nice presentation, basically. But I'm going to go ahead and make this. So here's this card. If you want to stop it at any point and write it down and just make some yourself, because these are a nice, cool, and refreshing drink. If you're a fan of ginger, lime, and bourbon or vodka, whichever. I'm gonna put this back here. I'm gonna take my jigger here I got from Barfly. They really have some quality stuff if you're interested in looking. There's their logo there, if you, or not logo, but their name there, if you can see it. This top half is a 2.5 ounce or 2 ounces, and on the inside, that line right there is 1.5 ounces. And on the other side, the top of the rim here equals 1 ounce, and then you have the 3/4 ounce, 1/2 ounce, and 1/4 ounce. I'm going to go ahead and use the bourbon. So crack this bad boy open. So I want to use 2 2.5 ounces. There we go. Spill a little bit, but it's all good. So there we go. 2.5 ounces of the vanilla bourbon. Set that back there. And then we're gonna use 1/2 ounce of lime juice. All right, there we go. And always, if you wanna elevate the flavor, make sure you use freshly squeezed juice. If it calls for any type of citrus juice, lime, grapefruit, lemons, what have you, it always elevates the flavor profile of the drink. I can't tell you enough. Sometimes if you're in a pinch, yes, you can use just the store-bought juices whatnot, and they will suffice. But if you can spare, you know, the time to juice the limes and the citruses, and I promise you it'll be well worth it in the end. But let me go ahead and finish combining all the ingredients so the ice doesn't melt and it doesn't dilute too much, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and pour my 1/2 ounce of lime juice in here, and then we're gonna go ahead and float it with this Gosling's Diet Ginger Beer. And yes, I'm using the Diet Ginger Beer. You know, I gotta be around so I can make more videos for y'all, right? All right, so go ahead and pop that open. And like I said, we're just gonna go ahead and float it to the top with some ginger beer. All right. Now I'm gonna set that there, and I have this nice little metal straw that I'm gonna park inside here. And there it is, a Kentucky Mule made with Jim Beam vanilla bourbon to go with Stronger With You Freeze by Emporio Armani. So stay tuned for the review of that. For you all, it'll be a second. For me, probably be about 15 to 30 minutes of setting up because I gotta move the camera and all the equipment into the next room to go ahead and start a review on this fragrance, because this is a great fall fragrance. It's great for casual wear, but I'll get into all that once I do the actual review of that fragrance. All right, like I said, it was probably a second for you all. For me, it was just maybe about 10 minutes for me to set everything up. But yeah, here's the Kentucky Mule with the vanilla bourbon from Jim Beam, and give it a try for you all. It's pretty good. So, like I mentioned, I'm going to be reviewing this fragrance from Emporio Armani, the Stronger With You Freeze flanker from this line. I don't want to say that this is my favorite, but I really do like wearing this a lot, especially if I'm looking for something quick to grab on my way out the door. Like if I'm running late, which I'm doing most of the time. I don't know what it is. I can't seem to get out the door on time for anything. But usually if I'm in a hurry, if I'm in a hurry and I need to throw something on, this is what I'm gonna grab, because it works, it gets the compliments, and it has a nice refreshing, like brisk opening from the lime and the ginger in this fragrance, which, like I said, that's why it reminded me of a Kentucky Mule or a Moscow Mule, whichever one. But once I saw that it had vanilla bourbon or bourbon vanilla as one of the notes in the base, like, I'm just like sold. I'm like, I have to make this video. I have to make this cocktail just so that, you know, it can go hand in hand with this fragrance. It's not my fragrance of the day, but it is what it is. But like I said, this is a great fragrance for, you know, just casual wear. It has a nice, sweet, almost gourmandy profile to it. And when I say gourmand, I mean kind of edible, basically. When you smell something like vanilla, or when you smell something that smells like toffee or chocolate or coffee or something like that, it's going to smell edible for the most part. And this kind of has like an edible scent profile, especially in the base when that vanilla starts to show through. It's a little bit freshened up as well from the lavender in here. I think it has a little bit of spices in here. I can't remember exactly. I want to be more transparent with you all. I don't always know every single note in every fragrance. I know around about what all these fragrances have, containing in them, or what all these fragrances have in them, but for the most part, I do know that those notes are in here, and I can pick those up whenever I do wear this fragrance. And every time I get nice wafts of this fragrance while I'm walking about, doing this and doing that, it's just a pleasant time all around, basically. You can wear this in the daytime, I'd recommend. I mean, you can wear it in the nighttime. This would be another great fragrance to wear sitting by a campfire. Like if you've seen my last video, I made a video describing 5 different fragrances that are great around a campfire. But this would be another good one. Also, this is, I think let's see, they came out with the original. They came out with Intensely, and I think they came out with this one. I think this is the third iteration or the third flanker in the line. And then they came out with, they have Leather, and they also have Oud, and they also have Only, and now they have Absolutely. So they have quite a few fragrances or quite a few flankers in this line. A lot of people seem to like not the latest, but one of the latest, Absolutely, in this line. This also includes the note of rum, and they brought back the hazelnut note in this fragrance. It was missing in this fragrance, as well as the Intensely, which I have here, which a lot of people seem to like this because this is a powerhouse in performance. If you want to project, meaning if you want the fragrance to push off your skin or fill up a room whenever you walk into it, this is the fragrance that's going to do it for you. It lasts a great while. It is a powerhouse, like I said. The last time I wore this, I forgot how much of a powerhouse it was. As soon as I got in the car, and I only put like five, 6 sprays on, it was filling the car, and I wanted to roll the windows down just in case I wasn't choking anybody else out. But I mean, it's still a pretty good scent, and it has a nice dustiness to it. It's sweet, it's edible or gourmandish, basically. This is always going to be a good staple in anybody's collection when it comes to fall or winter. I'm not thinking about putting this in like a top 10s greatest fall and winter list for, fragrances, basically. Sorry, I'm ranting and raving about this one because this is a great fragrance, but it's not about this fragrance. It's about the Freeze flanker. Again, this is just a lot more easier to wear than the other two. The other two are pretty easy, but this is just a no-brainer. A lot of people call easy to grab fragrances dumb reaches because you don't have to think about it. Whenever you grab them, you spray it on because you know it's going to work, you know you're going to like it, and you know it's going to get the job done whenever you are going to work or run some errands or whatever it is you're going to do for the day. I do appreciate having this in my collection, and I've put a decent dent into it. I think it came out in late 2020. I'm not entirely sure, but I've had this not too long after it came out, and I was sparing with it because I didn't want to run through it, because I did find myself just not dousing myself, but wearing a decent amount of it, and it's been discontinued, but it's still readily available. I will leave a link in the description to pick this fragrance up on FragranceNet or Fragrance X or wherever I might be able to find it at. This is a great choice for the fall. It will be a great choice for the winter as well, but if it's going to be a cold winter like the Farmer's Almanac is predicting, I would suggest something more like the Intensely, or even something a little bit more heavier, which is the Parfum version of all these Strong With You fragrances. Like I said, it has the note of booze it has the note of rum in here, so it kind of gives like a nice boozy scent profile. I can see wearing this when I go to somewhere like a cigar bar and lounge like we have here where I'm from. It's just a place called Match. It's a really good place. I really like going there with my friends from time to time. We really go there like every once in a blue moon, but when we do, it's usually a good time because it's just like an actual lounge. You really do get that nice chill vibe. They have a station playing. When I was there last, it was just nothing but jazz music, but all the songs that you recognize from like the 90s, like, some Janet Jackson, some Joe, just like R&B music. It was just so smooth and just low key and just a good time, just having a cigar with your buddies over a couple cocktails, and this will be a great fragrance to do that with. All right, I like the presentation of the fragrance too. It has a nice frosted design, or it has a nice frosted finish on the bottle, and I like the cap design too, because the collar of the cap it looks like a ring you might wear, or you know, that has like multiple bands that like overlap one another, and it'd be a nice ring to have on while you're wearing a leather jacket or something like that, to kind of give off that mysterious bad boy vibe, I guess. And if you can see, it has the, let me turn it around for you. It has the Emporio Armani logo on the atomizer here, and if you're unfamiliar with what an atomizer is, it's the sprayer basically. Also, if you look inside the cap, it has the logo in there as well. Yeah, so the cap, just, you have to find the groove to click it into place, and I wouldn't suggest picking it up by the cap, because you can do that and it can fall and break and you'll be out a nice scent. I've done that before. I haven't broken any bottles yet, but I have picked it up by the cap and it's done a little bit of damage. Luckily, not too much damage. So, but yeah, those are great fragrances to pick up if you're interested. I will even link in the description for all three, just because I mentioned all three. I really only meant to talk about Freeze, since I, you know, made my cocktail here, my Moscow Mule. And also, man, I'm a little disappointed, I gotta say, because I have this, it looks gold, but copper mug for Moscow Mules. These are made for that specifically, but I was in, not AJ Wright. I always want to say AJ Wright. It doesn't exist anymore. At least I don't think so. But I was in Burlington and I was in like their kitchenware section, and I found like these copper solo cups, like for Moscow Mules. They look like a solo cup, but they were just like copper. And I was hoping to show you all of those, but I couldn't find them. I don't know where they could be. Hopefully they weren't thrown out anywhere, but this will do, you know, it still holds the good stuff inside, right? So, that is good. That is good. Well, I appreciate y'all tuning in again. I really enjoy doing this, and sorry it's been so long trying to film another video. Just life has gotten in the way. Just working a little bit of overtime here lately, and I'm just been extra tired. Just each time I get off, again, I work like 10 hours each day, and so it takes a toll on you. It really does. But I'm trying to be more persistent when putting out these videos, and I got a coffee video that I just filmed not too long ago, so hopefully y'all can check that out and you can enjoy it. It's me making cold brew with Flavor Gods, different variety of coffee flavors they have. It's really good stuff. If y'all are into those flavors, man, just go ahead and check them out and see what they're all about. And even if you're not into coffee, they have a ton of different seasonings for like, let's see, like a quarter of the amount of sodium that you would normally find in like seasonings and whatnot. So it's much more healthier for you with a much more flavor packed profile, you know. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here so I can go ahead and play the game. And it's Saturday night and I'm just about to have this cocktail and just enjoy some time to myself, you know what I mean? So I appreciate your all's viewership, and leave a like if you all like this video. It really does help out the video with the YouTube algorithm. It helps find the people who are into these videos and pretty much just plug it into their feed so they can watch it and enjoy it. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, catch up on some gaming, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. All right, peace.